against him. A lot of the times you think he is the 12th player for the opposition.
So Korea come into this with 8 goals for, 6 against. Not a great differential, but they're in second place on the ladder. If they win here today, they've just about assured themselves a place in the final, probably against Australia. A chance for Australia to cement that place in the final, and for Korea to go very close to doing that. Australia will have first possession, and it'll be Stephen Davies. Originally from Parkes in New South Wales, now resident in Western Australia, as are so many of the players in the Australian squad, because the Australian Institute of Sport Hockey Unit is based at the Bentley Stadium, Commonwealth Hockey Stadium, Bentley, out of the Curtin University grounds. Waiting for the officials to check everything is in place. There's the whistle. 70 minutes of hockey coming our way, and it should be entertaining. Livermore has first real touch for Australia, and Wells. So Australia today playing with Matthew Wells and Michael York as the fullbacks. Stephen Shaggy Holt from the Northern Territory moves up to right half. Jason Duff to left half, and that's because Paul Godoyne and Daniel Sproul are out of this, well, Godoyne is certainly out of the game with a stress fracture of a foot. Daniel Sproul took a cork the other day and is starting on the bench. They won't run him, I wouldn't think, unless they really need to, Harry.
Yeah, no, not unless they need him, and if they're down, I'm certain they'll get him on there as quickly as possible.
Michael York wearing the captain's armband, as he's done for the last couple of years, inheriting the leadership from my co-commentator today. Matty Wells from Tasmania, powerful hitter of the ball, Matty Wells, Mark.
Yeah, that's one of his specialties, is a penalty corner hit. But with someone like Jay Stacey in the team, it's fairly hard for him to get a hit.
Great trap, Troy Elder. Fellow born in Bunbury in Western Australia while his parents were holidaying around the country. Spent most of his life in Bundaberg, bit of a local hero here.
Yeah, he's a fantastic guy, and I have a lot of time for Troy, especially seeing he plays in my club side back in Perth.
All you need to do is get him in the NHL team.
Exactly.
Stacey, top of the D, positions for the reverse sweep. Stick was in from Yongbei Kim and did well. This is Song. Outside is the captain, Kang. Korea pretty much a defensive unit first and foremost, Mark.
Yeah, they play a 3-3-3-1 style of system where they mark the midfielders man-to-man, and they'll just play fall away all day, and hopefully Australia don't make a mistake, which they'll try and capitalise on.
Rolled out by Hahn, who's having his first start in this tournament for Korea. Come off the bench in the other games. Brennan. Michael Mouse Brennan. Jason Duff comes up to take it. Another man who can really make a ball stay hit, as can this man, the captain, Michael York. Wells now just spreading the Koreans out a bit. Just trying to move the defence wide, create a couple of openings. Jeong, not a fair tackle. Stacey with the free. Victory, can't quite control it, has to go back rather than forward. Livermore, it's too far forward for Duff. Brent Livermore's settled into the central midfield position very, very well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's played very, very well, and Jason Duff, it'll be interesting to see how he goes today, because he doesn't play a lot of left half, and obviously with the injuries he's just got to fill and do the best job he can there today.
Mind you, they've got a fair alternative, because they can always move Jason Duff back to fullback and put Michael York at left half.
And Michael's played there before in his early years. That's one of the positions he had to play a lot.
Here he is. Brennan misread it. Song now. Tackled early by Elder. Looks for relief more than anything else. Retains possession. It's off the stick of Duff. He retreats now. Han back to G. Jong-Han G. Yongbei Kim now. Wide to Huang, but he couldn't keep it in. So Seo is playing in the midfield. His first major international tournament for Korea. Jong-Ho Seo, wearing number 5. You can just see him on the centre line there now. Hasn't been bad in this tournament so far. Mistrapped that time by Lim and an Australian corner. Stacey. Good tackle by John then.
Yeah, it's a little bit unlucky there, Joe. I didn't think he did obstruct the Korean player there. But Jay's getting involved very early, which is good to see because we need him to play very well today.
Korea seemed to stack their left side a bit.
They've probably watched the tapes and think Australia tend to attack down the right a lot.
Right. Yeah, okay. But there's an imbalance there at the moment. They've got about 6 on the left and only 4 on the right, in a defensive mode at least, which then means you've pretty well got to build most of your attacks down the left-hand side. Yes.
And Australia's attack is very good down the left-hand side. Michael Brennan's got plenty of pace, and Troy Elder's been playing very well in this tournament, and so if they underestimate those two, they'll get punished.
CO. Oh, Kang could have let that go. Aussie ball. Davies called for it. Duff comes up to York. Position for the toss over the top. And put his stick on it. Quickly into the middle, but right across quite harmlessly for Korea. And they'll take the result and push in just ahead of their defensive 25-yard line. Hockey's still a mixture of metric and the old imperial. We still talk about a 25-yard line and a 16-yard circle. But we talk about a 10-metre advancement and a 7-metre penalty strike. Here's danger. Mistrapped by York. Has some work to do to get in ahead of Song. Holds him up and retains possession and wins the free hit. Well recovered by Michael York. Just a little bobble on this pitch. Saw the ball roll over his stick.
That's what they got to have to be careful of, because Koreans will capitalise very quickly. Their 3-strike forwards are very, very quick, and Michael, season campaign, had recovered very well.
Now there's a stick over tackle by Jeong, and Hamish Jamson summons him immediately, as is often the case in a game at this level. The first deliberate breach will wear a green card, I should say. Scared all the Korean listeners, didn't I?
And Jay was very polite there, picked up his stick and handed it back to him, but I can guarantee you it wouldn't have been too kind of words.
And by just telling Jeong to turn around and show the bench his shirt number 6. No doubt about the tackle, nothing too serious. Mind you, had it been across that next white line, the 25, it would have been serious for Koreans. It would have been a penalty corner.
Definitely. But they're marking Jay very tightly. They know if Jay gets into the game, then Australia's attack plays much, much better. So they'll just try and nullify him and frustrate him as much as they can.
Craig Jiggy Victory, young fella from the Port Adelaide club in South Australia, had an enormous impact in his first major tournament.
Oh, it's been fantastic for the composure of the young fella, and to his credit, he can hit goals as well. And there's when you've got that knack of hitting goals, and you've also got a brain in your head, hockey knowledge, then the kid's got a big future.
I think he played his first district level game or A-grade game for Port Adelaide at 15.
It wouldn't surprise me
at all.
Not bad,
is it? Not many people do that. There he is. No free hit. Not terribly happy, but does what you have to do. Back to position. Young Kim looks backward to go forward. G looks backward again, thinks better of it. Came the stick of Troy Elder. Well, that's confident by Hahn. Well picked out too. Yes, very tough challenge by Troy Elder, and Hamish Jamson makes the point in quite strong terms. He won't do that. Lim rolls it up to Wang, who almost seems cemented to that left sideline. Hamish Jamson heard the call then. Stephen Holt, who, me or him? What was wrong with the tackle? I was going for the ball.
Yeah, it's pretty harsh. I thought the Korean did well. His stick obstructed Stephen from getting the ball, and Hamish has picked him up and given him a green card. H can feel pretty well hard done by there.
H is a much better nickname than Shaggy, isn't it?
Sure is.
Had a bit to do with his haircut, I think, when he first got to the AIS, didn't it?
It was very, very long.
So time stopped for that infringement. Our elapsed time clock at the top of the screen keeps rolling on. That's the time from the start of the game. Song not quite right. The stop and turn. Duff polite to the ball boy or girl. Yes, please, was the call. Let's see if he's still that polite when we're 70 minutes into this game. Interestingly, the ball boys and girls being judged at this tournament as well, just as a sidelight. And they're being marked on their performances. And the 8 who get the best marks will do the finals.
Oh, excellent. I'm sure they're all keen to do well then.
Stacey. It's the Free hit just inside the 25 for Australia. Holt's run up ahead of him. Goes back instead to Livermore, who wears a stick check. And the first penalty corner of the game is given against the Korean forward, Seo, midfielder, who, like Craig Victory, is playing in his first major international tournament. This Brent Livermore.
Pretty harsh. I thought Brent did very well to get the ball where he got, and the Koreans just tried to make a tackle, and Hamish has made himself, well, any sort of stick checks or anything is going to be a penalty corner. He wants to show that he's in charge out there from word go.
I wonder whether he did see that hand in the back. That made it a bit more serious. I must admit I missed that the first time round. Maybe he has X-ray vision.
Could have.
Forward's worst nightmare, isn't it? Umpire with X-ray vision. Just over the top then by Elder.
It's a good flick. Just missed the left-hand post there. I don't think the postman for Korea had no idea where this was going.
And he wasn't tall enough to reach it
No,
anyway.
it wouldn't have been, no way.
You try to jump that high, the first thing to do is bang your head on the crossbar.
Those you just stand there and watch them go in.
Oh, mind you, that's a job for defenders, isn't it, Beth?
Very true. What they're paid for.
Yongbae Kim. Gee whiz, that's a great ball, wasn't it, to Song? Still controlling it. Just tried to roll off Duff and got absolutely nowhere. Livermore. For the long through ball for Elder. What a great run by Elder off a terrific pass from Livermore. Just looking for support now. Davies behind him. Koreans back in numbers. One of those numbers is Seo. Just conceded that penalty corner. Wastes that delivery. Victory. Couldn't quite get a handle on it.
Yeah, the boys it's just not happening for them at the moment. They're just missing the easy traps and the hard traps. And once I think the team that can control the ball the better on this field. It seems to be a little bit more bobbly today for some reason. Maybe they haven't put enough water on it again. But the Aussie boys are just struggling a little bit with their possession.
Wells finds Livermore now. Stacey's out wide left. Davies goes forward instead. Just a little too far in front of Troy Elder. So 10.5 minutes of elapsed game time gone. Just over 11.5 since the game actually started. Korean ball from the side. A little confusion among the Korean defenders. Stephen Davies was prepared to offer some advice. G. Damon Deletti comes out to set up the ball for the 16-yard hit. Matty Wells looking for Victory, outnumbered. Somehow the ball falls to Holt on the overlap. Back came Yeo and won the free hit. Well done. Scrappy at the moment as these two teams test each other out. Stacey now.
Yeah, the Koreans have pulled back their centre forward and they're marking our centre half, Brent Livermore, man to man. And they're only pressing with two high strikers, so they obviously think Brett's a bit of a danger man, so they know they're not going to let him set up the play.
Not a bad tactic. Mind you, it does take one man out of your attack, doesn't it? Oh, great pass again. Victory's running off the ball is fantastic, and that wasn't a bad pass for it, was it?
Yeah, he's very, very smart, and Michael Brennan has got great vision, and then that's the way they're going to have to break up this Korean defence, is by getting the ball in behind their back defenders.
And of course Brennan reads those so well because he's often making those cuts himself.
He sure is.
The substitution made for Australia. Stephen Davies taking a rest, and Lachlan Vivian Taylor, young Victorian, comes on. There's Kang, the Korean captain. So a couple of youngsters up front now, Craig Victory and Lachlan Vivian Taylor.
Yeah, two very, very good players, and Lachlan's been in a lot of major tournaments now, so he's got the experience behind him. So this will be nothing new to him at all.
Elder just holding up Hahn. Good tackle. Okay, I thought it was a good tackle. Hand in the back is the call from Hamish Jamson. Song again. Yo inside him. Goes himself. Keeps the ball in momentarily. Brennan gets away from Lim. Rolls it out to Duff now. Ahead of him is Elder. Rolls it back instead. Brennan once again. And go back to look at a new setup. Stephen Holt. Can't get past Kang. He puts the ball out, lifts it in the process, and Aussie free hit. Not much happening ahead of him, Mark.
No, they're marking very tightly, the Koreans. They're just playing this fall-away press. They're quite happy for the defenders in Michael York, Matthew Wells to have the ball at the back, and they don't want them to come over the 25 with any room at all.
It'll work for Wells after the missed trap. Creates some urgency. The Aussies retain it out off the stick of Hahn. Stacey now, can he create something? Elder still going, came off his foot, but under the new interpretation, let's play on. Bit of work going on off the ball between Stacey and Hahn. Stacey thought he might have had a penalty corner. Hamish Jamson, the English umpire, thought otherwise.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he blew that for. He blew Troy Elder for the tackle, but I thought Troy made a great intercept, and they should have been allowed to be play on.
Aussie ball. Holt back to York. Stuff square left. Again, just looking to spread the Korean defence. Every member of the Korean team behind the ball. Oh, great trap again by Victory as he works his way towards the circle. Plays it off the foot. That's play on again. Yo. Lim outside, wins the free hit. Korea absorb a bit more pressure. If that's what they're looking for, they're not going to create too many useful attacks, are they?
No, they're just waiting. They're hoping they get one breakaway. If they score, then they'll play this way even more. And it's hard to break this sort of defence, especially if we're trying to hit the ball long all day, then the Korea will just intercept it.
Not a great outlet ball from Matty Wells that time. Don't do that too often with a Korean forward coming down on the intercept. But I'm sure he knows that. Here he is again. It's a better ball. Elder with a bit of space if he can get there. Does indeed. Well done, Troy Elder. Now Hahn in his face. Vivian Taylor. Still Vivian Taylor puts the stick over the top, concedes the free hit, the Aussie. Commonwealth Games gold medalist. Bronze medal from the Champions Trophy last year. Auckland junior Vivian Taylor. Young rolls it forward. Back come the Australians. Now through Brennan. Kim with the stick over the top, and he's going to get a green card as well, this time from Santiago Deo.
Yeah, the Koreans know if they let the Australians play a free-flowing game, that they're just going to get absolutely slaughtered in this game. So if they can do anything to stop the free-flowing, especially Michael Brennan, who's got plenty of pace, and he will run past you and set up play.
Yes, the Koreans may well have watched their women's team play Australia last night.
Well, let's hope the game goes the same way.
Australian women were just 1-0 up at half-time and produced a goal explosion after the major break to put 4 in 12 minutes, a total of 5 in the second half, 6 if you count one that was disallowed. They finished up winning 6-0, being 1-0 at half-time. Jay Stacey just repositioning the ball for Korea. They send it back forward to the centre line again. Now Stacey can do more than reposition. It's almost dangerous play.
Has to be a yellow.
Now there's a Korean who's been saying something to the umpire, and is it Jeong? It is.
He's got him for Jay's lifted the ball, trying to throw an overhead, and Jeong's actually put his stick up to stop it above his shoulder, which is illegal and deliberate. So it's deemed as a breach, a deliberate breach. So you get a yellow card for it.
Jong Ha-jeon in his 104th appearance for Korea at international level. The field, Korea have to make some changes, bring back another defender. Hwang, the left winger, comes off, And CO comes back on to strengthen the midfield. There's Kang taking a break. So they'll be even more defensive now. But at least the Australians have the upper hand in terms of numbers. 11 against 10 for at least 5 minutes on this temporary suspension. Webster dispossessed, but off a Korean stick. The Australians keep the ball. Now Stacey inside the D. Quite fine victory.
Good play there by Jay. Jay's actually roving around the field a little bit more, trying to get rid of his marker, and that time he did a very good turn in the circle, put the ball across, but the boys weren't in the right positions, or whether Jay didn't put the ball where they wanted it.
Now Korea took too long to take the push in. Australia were given it, but took it from the wrong position. Now a free hit, no, back to the sideline. Brennan and Holt. Matthew Wells can't get past Yongbei Kim. Rolls forward to CO. Now Korea on the breakthrough. Their captain Kang. One break. Out comes Deletty. Well done. And there was I think there was a back of the stick in there.
Yeah, I think he's got Damon Deletty here. Damon's made a fantastic save off the first shot, and then he's just lost sight of it. He doesn't know where it is.
Just touched it with the back of the
stick. Just unlucky. Just lost vision of it.
Good break by Korea. That's where they're so dangerous, isn't it?
They are dangerous, and it's just a matter of, as you can see there, they just knocked the ball behind the Australian defence and the pace of their forwards.
So Yo is there for the flick. G is there for the hit. Santi Deo calls play on. Yo didn't control it. They have to go back out and start again. Lim inside the D. Couldn't get a decent shot away. Should have. He had some time. The Australian defenders actually backed away momentarily.
Yeah, Matthew Wells wasn't sure whether to come at him then and stop him from having the shot. But in the end, Michael York's got a stick in the way and made a good intercept.
As he so often does.
He does. He's a brilliant player.
20 minutes of playing time into this game. Still 0-0 between Australia and Korea. Yeo turns Vivian Taylor the wrong way. Not a great outlet pass though. Gets back again. This time it makes the intended recipient. This is Song. Kang, the captain. Work it inside to CO. They're looking for a stick check then, the Koreans. Didn't get one. So they stream back in numbers once again.
Australians just losing their way here a little bit. They're turning over the ball too much in the midfield, and the Koreans, even though they've got 10 men, are playing with a lot of confidence and throwing the ball around.
Australian hit, and once again there's been something said which Santi Deo has taken exception to. In fact, it's a Korean free hit. I did wonder about that last one. It is Korean at the side. Song tackled by Duff. Well done. Scotty Webster, born in Zambia. Kim almost found Song that time.
Australians just need to get a little bit of composure here and slow the game down again. Start just using the ball nice and simple through the midfield.
That's a great ball. Holt in a lot of space. Davies runs forward for him, marked by Yongbei Kim. Puts him inside, but has to go backward to do it. Livermore now working forward. Kang comes in for the tackle. Two of them there. Kim it was who eventually got it out, only as far as Wells, who goes forward again. Davies had a couple of Aussies to pick from, Brennan or Webster, and eventually went between the two.
Yeah, I think Scott Webster had to get over across a little bit further to give Stephen and someone to hit for. He was standing on the outside the post, and in those sort of positions it's hard to score. You want to get in front of your defender and get into the penalty stroke spot.
Song pushes it forward and sprints after it, but York is equal to that challenge with some help from Duff. Brennan using the foot to advantage there. as you can under the new rule, as did Kim.
Oh, it was a little bit deliberate, that one.
Deliberate and significant. Still Kim. Was sent wide there by Duff. Well done, Jason Duff. Holds him up in the corner. It's a lifted ball off Duff's stick, though, and will be a Korean hit. Song. Again, Duff. Well done. Great defence. Scotty Webster comes away for Australia. Goes square to to Stacey. Vivian Taylor running forward of him. That's where the ball goes as he leaves Lim, his defender. He's gone too far, and Jung Woo Lim just held him up long enough.
Yeah, the Koreans did very well there. As soon as they lost the ball, they were all chasing back very, very hard, and subsequently covered the passes off that Jay had to make.
Chase him was the call from the bench. Vivian Taylor did. Seo. Back to Lim. Jung Woo Lim this time. Jung Choi Lim. Jung Choi Kim, I should say. Commons, who's just come on for Vivian Taylor. And the advantage in terms of numbers is ended now. Jeong has come back on after serving a 6-minute suspension. And both teams back to full strength in terms of numbers.
This will be a good contest for the Australians. They just have to be patient today and bide their time and try and set up the play and not get too far away from Michael York or Matthew Wells. What they want to do is just play simple, basic hockey today, because it's going to be a tough, hard battle.
Commons. Good second effort, but interfered with the Korean stick. Free hit to the men in red. This is Kang, the captain. Tackle. Commons again. Scotty Webster turns Kim inside, wins the free hit for obstruction. Australians outnumbered in the circle, almost 2-1. Yeo gets away with a lifted ball over Holt's stick. Now Kang, nobody up there for him in the middle. That's up off the stick of York. Free hit to Korea just outside circle.
And you can see how quick they break. There was only one attacker up there, and by the time he got to the circle, he had 3 other options on to pass.
Credit Michael York with closing them down. Now Jeong has received that within 5 metres of where the infringement occurred, and inside that outer dotted circle, you have to be 5 metres away, every player from both sides. Young Bae Kim works it forward again for Korea. Inside 10 minutes remaining in the first half. 0-0 here. Commons almost got a stick on that, so did Kim. In the end, it floated home to see out. Australia can rebuild. Duff and Commons, good one too. Webster couldn't get a handle on it. Forward they come again.
It's just not quite falling for the Australians today.
This is Wang, who's come back on after a break. He had to go off when the Koreans were forced to reorganise their defence. So their 3 main strikers are back on. Here's one of them. Song works it inboard. Wells comes forward with it for Australia. Webster now. Commons, the long ball was aimed for Vivian Taylor. From Adam Commons from Wagga Wagga. His nickname is Billy. Hobbies include phantom race balls, which he does very well.
He does do that very well. He doesn't mind a little bit of a gamble either.
Elbow in from Duff, and the Koreans invited to take it again. Now he's turned it round, Santi Deo.
They're definitely involved today. Both umpires are making sure the players aren't going to disrespect their decisions.
At least outwardly. G for Korea. Yeo tried to work it back into G, trying to emulate the 1-2 from Commons before, unsuccessfully. Good second effort by G.
Yeah, they're playing well, the Koreans. Give them credit. They're a very disciplined side, and they've got a game plan, and they're doing exactly what they've been told.
Livermore. Intercepted by CO. Song. Has Hwang outside on the left. Uses his body to shield it as he pulled it back. Looked for Kang, the captain, and missed him. Andy Wells picks out Scotty Webster. Stacey called for it. Needed to be closer to him. Stacey thought then was looking to be substituted for a moment. He's done a fair bit of running in these first 22 minutes. Duff and Livermore. Webster. Seo. Outside, and they try to build it from a wider position this time. Jong. Forward to Hwang. They just dragged it back too far. Get away from Stephen Holt. Still they come forward again. Yong Bae Kim back to G. The passes just aren't coming off at the moment. Michael Brennan tried to find Stephen Davies there, but it was ill-directed. Relieving ball from Duff. Missed Scotty Webster, and Korea take a 16-yard hit from defence. Nobody seems to take a 16 from the 16 anymore.
No, it's wherever you like.
Get it moving.
Yeah, get it moving quickly. But that's not such a bad thing because the game flows a lot quicker now.
Oh, Kim goes down hard. Korea take it early and give it up again, as do Australia. CO once more. Hwang looks wide, has Jeong on the overlap. Kang is ahead of him in the circle, and once again Australia defends, this time through Stephen Holt. Well done. Good outlet too. Fantastic tackle there by Stephen Holt. He had to make that tackle. Well weighted pass from Davies finds Brennan. He can't get past G. He could have just rolled it off to CO then. In the end, the result isn't a bad one. Kang forward, got the shot away. Deletty once again comes out, closes it down. Well done. Yeah, well done, Damon Deletty. He read the play very quickly. The ball was just jinked over Michael York's stick there into a space, and he's had the quick shot, but Damon Deletty was there to make sure it didn't go in. Deletty's first start in this tournament today. Nice to get a couple of saves under your belt. Oh, it sure is, and I'm sure he'll be a lot more confident now that he's made those two really good saves and kept Australia in the game. We spoke to Kath Partridge here, the Australian goalkeeping coach for the women's team, the other day, and she said one of the biggest things when training goalkeepers is maintaining their concentration. Yeah, so they're not in the game a lot, and all of a sudden you're called on to do something spectacular. Brilliant. Yeah. He did it very well too, Deletty. Got up very early. But he's the sort of guy, he has to play well now. The Australians aren't holding the ball that well in the midfield, and to Damon's credit, he's kept us in the game. Victory, who's just come on as a substitute for Stephen Davies. Brennan now. 4-on-4 up there if they're quick enough. Korea back in numbers now though. They are fit, aren't they? And disciplined. Oh, they are very, very fit. You should see them train when even before they train. For an hour and a half, they're doing sprints and a lot of things over the whole course of the field. And for a good half an hour, 45 minutes before they train. Livermore lifted it up then into CO, got away with it, comes back again. Young Bae Kim comes out, dived for it, but it was already over the sideline, and Hamish Jamson, the umpire, saw it. So victory for Australia. Inside 4 minutes remaining in this first half. Holt comes forward. Takes it from Victory, works it inside now to Commons. Australia just looking for a spark. Certainly out in the openings there. It may well take a little bit of individual brilliance to get through this. It could do, and someone like Michael Brennan, who's got that individual brilliance, could set it up through the midfield. Or this young fella, Craig Victory. Youngbae Kim obstructed him, got his body between Victory and the ball. The ball was just away from Youngbae Kim's body. That becomes an obstruction. Nevertheless, he gets it back and relieves the pressure momentarily. Wells and York have changed sides just for a bit of variation.
Yeah, and as you can see, Korea is still playing this fall-away style. They've got 11 men behind the halfway line. And what Australia are trying to do is throw the ball around the back to give themselves space up front.
Duff back again. Livermore misses it. York, reliable as ever.
He's always there, always seems to be in the right spot.
There's not much gets past him, is there,
No.
Yorkie? Duff, early ball. Jason Duff and his brother Darren has also worn the green and gold of Australia.
Yes, they both are very, very talented players. Both from Victoria.
Darren, of course, was unlucky to miss a spot in your '96 Olympic team, wasn't he? Down to the last two spots, I think.
Two spots, yeah. He just missed out on the 16th spot.
And in fact, he was told about it at this ground.
It sure was, yep. And it's probably one of the hardest things as a captain to go up to him afterwards and say,
Bad luck,
we
mate.
need you to keep training just in case of injuries.
Yeah. Korean hit. Yo and Song. Well, not a bad through ball. Two options there. Lee, number 11, who's just come on, and Jeong, who'd made the flash cut across from the left side of midfield. Yeah,
they're handling the ball very well in the midfield, the Koreans, and their skills, their one-on-one elimination skills are very, very good.
So it's looking like we could go into half-time absolutely scoreless. Just under a minute and a half remaining on the official time clock. 36 minutes gone because we've had a couple of stoppages for green and yellow cards. Fortunately, no injuries in this first half. Song. Well, it was a great trap by Huang, wasn't it? Who'd come into the middle of the D.
It was a very good trap.
Fantastic. Just a lifted ball,
lifted ball again.
They make it look so easy at this level, as did you, of course.
It's, the amount of training you do, you should make it look easy.
Yeah. Well, the art is to be able to trap the ball so it doesn't rebound at all. Huang just lifts it over Holt illegally. The umpire's pretty tough on that lifted ball, especially on this pitch. Once it starts bouncing, you only need a wild hit, and somebody's going to lose all their teeth, whether they're wearing a mouthguard or not.
Yeah, it makes it very difficult.
You ever go back to playing on grass just for the fun of it?
I did once. Could not trap a ball.
And the other thing is that the shoes you wear on here are absolutely useless on grass, aren't they? Counting down to half-time, you can hear the school kids in the crowd. Not a bad crowd here today either, just counting it down. And so we go into half-time, absolutely scoreless. It's been a very good performance by the Koreans, to be frank. They've absorbed a fair bit of pressure while they were down to 10 men for 6 minutes, while Jeong was off the field, Craig Victory, and Lachlan Vivian Taylor, the two young Australian strikers, haven't had a great deal of opportunity yet.
No, but it's a great experience for those two young players. They probably haven't played against this sort of tight marking before. So it'll be a good experience, and I don't think Terry Walsh should be that disappointed at this stage. He'd obviously be disappointed with the way we're handling the ball, but the score's still 0-0, and because of Damon Deletti's two great saves, we're still in this game.
They are indeed. So at half-time, with another 35 minutes of hockey to come between Australia and Korea, we're at a scoreless draw. Korea on the breaks have perhaps looked a little more dangerous than the Australians at this stage in the first half. Just one penalty corner to each team. Korea with 2 effective shots on goal. Australia just the 1. Both of the Korean shots on goal saved by the West Australian goalkeeper Damon Delette.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll see Australia play a lot more rotations through the middle of the field. I think Stephen Holt and Duff will get involved in the game more, and even Matthew Wells and Michael York might start running the ball through the midfield, because the Koreans are marking Brett Livermore very tightly. And once they start to do that against Australia, the centre half of it is our feeder, and he's the one that sets up a lot of play. So he's going to have to be move out of the centre of the field, take his man with him so other people can come through.
So the second half underway. 0-0 between Korea in the red and Australia in the white and green. Song for Korea wins the first free hit against Jason Duff. Yeo. You look back there, just positions himself on the four-stick rather than the reverse. Always a better option in this game. This is Kang. One given. Michael York's stick. It's off a foot and up, but play on. Not that time. Kang addresses the free hit. Jeong is in the circle. So too was Song. Beautifully positioned, but the ball was raised.
Yeah, Hamish has blown the ball for lifted there.
Two more games to come today. Pakistan versus England. Spain versus the Netherlands. Both Pakistan and Spain still a chance of making the final here. Victory. This is a round robin format, with the top 2 point scorers going through to the gold medal playoff. Kang, good second effort from Brennan, trailing the stick, picked it up. Not a great deal of support forward for him at the moment. Forced to hold it up and then go back to Brent Livermore. Stephen Holt. Jay Stacey. Now Davies. Man who can do just about anything when he gets into a scoring position. Quite phenomenal. Like my co-commentator.
In the old days.
It's not that long ago. Stacey wins the free hit just inside the sideline. Lex's taken himself. Korea back in numbers once again. Lifted ball. Jay Stacey been fantastic for Australian hockey since 1987. Playing his 287th game today. The game's record holder for Australia. Xiong Hwan Ji. Kong Yeo works it infield to no avail. Davies. It's time to look up there. Trails it inside. I was looking for Stacey, but he wasn't there.
We're going through the middle of the field a little bit too much, and we've got to start using the width and get Craig Victory and Troy Elder involved in the game again.
Kang looks forward. Down went the stick of Duff. Wasn't required. Didn't touch it, in fact. 16-yard hit. Wells looks for and finds Michael York. Just creating some of that. Wells is back there again. Trapped by Brennan. Kim, Song. Seo, the overlap by Kim. Looked inside for Flank. Stacey was equal to that challenge. Davies unable to control the ball. And Jeong from the sideline. Back to Lim. Goes back to Yongbei Kim once again.
Now, what the Australians have to do at the moment is not get frustrated, just keep persisting. With Damon Deletti playing very well at the moment, he's going to keep him in the game, and if they just persist and persist, then hopefully the ball will fall for him in the right spot.
Yeo tried to lift it up and run through, was obstructed in the manoeuvre. Seo. Kang now held up outside, used his body to obstruct. 10-metre advancement.
He's
got the ball away.
Got him for obstruction there. He's actually protecting the ball, and he's turned his bottom in the face of Matthew Wells, and Matthew Wells didn't have any opportunity to try and tackle him.
Livermore looks forward. Hwang didn't trap it, and Holt hadn't gone behind him. So Korean ball at the side. Obstruction just off the ball.
Australia are putting a full press on them here to try and keep them in this side of the field.
G. Jungwoo Lim. Tripped. Play on. Going to Korea's advantage. Kang almost got it inside to Wang on the overlap. Wells was equal to it. Now it's with Troy Elder. Looks again for Wells, but it's misjudged by an inch or two. It's over the sideline. Jungwoo Lim. Seo robbed by Elder. Dropped it for Stacey. Picked it up. He almost overran it. Well done, Jay Stacey. Good tackle by G. Second effort. Elder gets it in there. Away they come again. Jungwoo Lim, been busy since half-time on this left side. Livermore picked that very early. Stacey. Missed Livermore. Davies on the burst. Thought about the hand in the back of young Bae Kim and thought better of it. He's obstructed. Let the ball go. Held his body there and once again just used the rump to hold out his opponent. Can't do that.
Yeah, it's good persistence there by Stephen Davies. Didn't have to put the stick in to make a rash tackle. Just held his time and ended up getting the free hit.
It goes out wide. This is Duff. Should run too long. And there's a corner ball. Australian stick now. Korea no support in the circle at this stage, so they need to work it in rather than belt it in. Now Kang is in support in the middle of the circle. Here he is. Works for the reverse, goes for the sweep. Oh, a big whack by Song, and you're never going to get away with that. Fortunately.
Never going to get away with the shot either. He's always off balance when he was trying to get the reverse stick tomahawk shot in there. And the Korean has tried to just blast the ball through Michael York.
Almost took Yorkie with it. Back live with Elder. Works forward for victory. Chance at a shot at goals. Well, good work again by the two young fellas.
It was excellent play by Troy Elder and another good lead by Craig Victory. Just quite couldn't reach it, and he's actually limping at the moment, so hopefully he has done an injury to himself.
Brennan on the burst. Victory is stationary outside the 25. Still Brennan. Goalkeeper called on to save and does well.
It's a very good save. And that's what Michael Brennan needs to do a little bit more of. He has got the pace to be able to beat players, and he has a great reverse stick shot. And he was trying to find Stephen Davies on the right post there, but the goalkeeper was equal to the task.
While we're watching that replay, Victory has come off, holding the left quad. So let's hope there's not a strain or a cork there.
Yeah, let's hope it's okay.
Australia are already one player down out of their 18-man squad in this tournament. Paul Godoyne with a stress fracture to the foot. Livermore looks inside CO. Brennan again. Livermore picks out Stacey. Good ball. Held up by Jeong illegally. Australian free hit on the 25. Stacey defers firstly to Elder, then to Holt. He rolls the ball back to Livermore, a little faint. Stacey runs into the body of Lim and gets a free hit. Stephen Holt to take it. Put it in the net, but not touched by an Australian inside the scoring circle.
They're probably the hardest to get a touch on because you're unsided a lot of the time. But the Australians are starting to put a few passes together now and therefore getting a few goal shots.
Stick check by Webster on Yeo. Career roll it forward, Hahn. It's back to G. Good persistence by Troy Elder. Inside now for Scotty Webster. Works the baseline, just lifts it over the stick of Yeo. And off that stick, corner given.
It's good work. They're starting to play a lot better now. Troy Elder's getting involved, and something that he's very, very good at is making intercepts on the tackles.
10 minutes gone of the second half, near enough. Still no score in this game. That's the corner. led to the corner. Really is developing into a total arm wrestle, isn't it?
It sure is. It's going to be a hard battle today.
Stacey with the ball. Stacey, who's had no rest today.
We're probably missing Daniel Sproul a little bit on the left-hand side there. No disrespect to Jason Duff, but Daniel Sproul's a lot better attacker because he's used to playing that role and getting into the setting up play for the forwards.
He's also one of the fastest blokes in the squad.
He's very, very quick, and that's one of his great attributes. When he gets the ball, he can go attack very, very quickly.
Korean ball at the side. Wang. On now, just lifts it back into Wang over the stick of Holt. Trying to work for the corner. Well, that's even better than the corner. Belted in by the number 8, Jung Chul Kim. Nobody there to try to lay a stick on it for Korea. So Australia come away with the 16-yard hit. Works the quick turn. Gets away from Hahn momentarily. Big man, Hahn. Long reach. Brennan wins the free hit on the 25. And it does go back to Wells. Ball for Stacey. Vivian Taylor couldn't control it. Looks all right though, with Wells coming up forward from the fullback position. Kim. Sio unintentionally rolls it back to Kim again. Stacey picks it out. Early ball finds Webster. Brennan now still trying to work it into that scoring circle, the Australians. Finally does. Lifted ball comes down to Livermore. Can't trap it. York is all the way up now. Elder looks for the deflection. And very, very close that time. Lachlan Vivian Taylor.
Yeah, it was a good play. They moved the ball to the right, got all the Korean defence over there, moved the ball back to the left as we see the shot again. Just bounced over the stick.
Now Korea streamed forward. York is there. Oh, up went the shot. How did Kang get in there?
Yeah, it was a good play. Michael was probably a little bit lucky there, because I would think he just about got all ball there, but Damon Atleti was there again.
Fantastic break though. And have a look at this, just comes from nowhere. I'm not sure what the whistle was blown for.
No, it was actually a good play.
Put that down as a shot on goal, as he made something out of absolutely nothing then. Kang, the captain. Victory just having that quadricep tested.
It'll be interesting to see how the Koreans run out this game. They don't tend to make a lot of interchange, where Australia do interchange a lot and rest players, so that they're still running at 100% by the end of the game, but Korea don't tend to do that, so hopefully they'll tire around the 12th minute mark to go.
Victory there being attended to by team Dr. Peter Backley and physio Graham Reid. Who they tell me has penned an Australian theme song.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Fred has always been very, very good at writing songs. He's a good guitar player, and many a trip he used to be on with us. Used to entertain us in the evenings in Pakistan and India.
As there weren't many alternatives.
There wasn't a lot, no.
So Australia reduced to playing this game at Korea's chosen pace, really.
Yeah, they are, but I mean, it's the way the Koreans are playing. Because they're playing this fall-away style, you just can't hit the ball up high all the time and expect to counter-attack on them.
The goalkeeper, Chong Lim, decided to let it go past. Good tackle, Brent Livermore. Bigby and Taylor can work into the circle, gets the push in. The goalkeeper again called on to save. Wasn't really a shot, he was looking for a deflection. The goalkeeper was there and equal to it.
Yeah, it was a good play by the Australians there, and they just needed someone to be in front of the goals again.
You see it from goal cam. Goalkeeper just dragged the left foot, did it very well. As Korea mount another attack. York couldn't keep it in, or Holt rather, couldn't keep it in. Song. Off a Korean foot in the end. 16-yard hit. It's Kang. Well cut out again. Brent Livermore. Been good at centre half today. In fact, he's been good at centre half through this tournament.
Just not finding their passes through the midfield today. Struggling a little bit in that area.
Free hit to Livermore to be taken just ahead of the centre line. They roll it back to Wells. Stacey comes off for a well-earned rest. And Adam Commons comes on for another run off the bench. Webster wins the free hit just outside the 25. Here's Commons now. Slips it through to Lachlan Vivian Taylor. And Bay Kim and Hahn now. Thought about the long clearing ball. Gee, it was almost better than a long clearing ball.
It was almost a really good ball, but Michael York had him covered anyway. Commons again. There's that foot rule interpretation. Subject to great controversy this week. And a misdirected pass as Yo runs in and tried to bodily move Stephen Holt off the ball. Never an easy task. Well, that's a way of stopping the counter-attack.
Song with the chop. Livermore, Wells outside him, challenges him. In fact, he might have been better to let it go to Davies. Now Korea away through Lim. And Kang, Ling again. York just holds him up, well played. Excellent work, Michael York, to hold up Youngwoo Lim. Composure, the call from assistant Australian coach Jimmy Irvine. Davies that time gets it to Brennan. Davies behind and inside, goes right instead, just drawing the Koreans wide. Reverse sweep finds Commons. And Vivian Taylor. Commons again.
It's a great tackle.
Hamish Jamson has seen something he didn't like.
Adam Commons has got a yellow card, I think.
Wasn't such a great tackle then. So Australia now down to 10 men on the field.
Here it is here. It's a good tackle by the Korean to poke it away from Adam. Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Can't really argue with that at all, can you?
No. So Australia may be forced to reorganise their defence here. Davies comes off and Stacey comes on. A bit more of a defensive element to Jay's game required here.
Yeah, what we'll probably do is play with 2 strikers and 4 across the midfield. Great ball.
Holt. Stacey now. Korea will press forward a bit now. Davies. Stick check from behind by Lim. It's allowed to go on. He'll get the free hit now. And there's going to be Santi Deo wants to come in on the yellow card routine.
Yeah, I think he's got number
12
of Korea.
Jungwoo Lim for that tackle back there when I said there was a stick check. And Santi, will he pull out the yellow?
No. I'll go no.
You'll go no? No, the green. Well done. You win again. It's his second green card, so perhaps a little lucky, Jungwoo Lim.
Oh, very lucky.
Hold up here while Santi Deo records the information on his hand with the felt pen. Stephen Holt, when the whistle is blown to restart play, will take the free hit. Livermore, Duff outside him. Duff was running forward. Livermore looked for the square ball.
Yeah, I think that's just Jason's not used to playing that position, and the timing's off a little bit today.
Forward they go through Yeo. Song slips past York. Deletti comes out, keeps it flat. Well done. And found Duff even better. Yeo. to press forward, press the advantage of being a man up. Duff deflects it for a corner.
That's good play, position himself in the right spot.
York, well done. Clearing hit from Brennan. Australia are warming up Daniel Sproul on the sideline, looking to inject perhaps a bit of spark into the midfield. Sproul starting this game on the bench because of a slight cork to the upper leg. Zio, drag push, went wide, untouched. 16-yard hit. It
was a good ball.
Vivian Taylor. Davies ahead of him, has to check. Well held by Young Bae Kim. Brennan takes it quickly. Vivian Taylor again rolls back to Livermore. Goes right and backwards to Wells in space. Korea back in numbers again. Wells could find Stacey, working his way to the circle. G deliberately put the foot out, and penalty corner Australia. The wink from Santi Deo, who says, I know what's deliberate and significant.
He sure does. And it was deliberate, and Jay's done very well to beat his man there and then put pressure by just tossing the ball into the space and chasing it. And a great opportunity for Australia here.
So the battery gather at the top of the circle. They'll decide which penalty corner variation they're going to use.
I would say Jay's going to hit with Troy Elder being on the bench.
Davies is there, who can also flick. Only 4 on the D for the Australians because they're a man down. So Stacey, it's rolled forward under the goalkeeper, who protects it. Penalty corner again.
It's good pressure by Stephen Davies. He made sure he got in there quickly so the goalkeeper couldn't get rid of the ball.
Australia told by Santi Deo not to take too long. Have a look at it again from the reverse angle. Rolled in, well covered by the goalkeeper, Jong Lim. Will they do it again? Or will Stacey look perhaps to go high this time with the flick? If it's hit, it must hit the backboard without being deflected. Hits again, same result. Oh, up goes Davies, penalty stroke. Stephen Davies wins the penalty stroke for Australia. Brennan pushed out, rolled forward, up it went. Davies quickly with the tap, and it's hit the foot there of Yeo, Win Kong Yeo, and if it hits the foot, whether it's accidental or deliberate, if it was going towards the goals, it is a penalty stroke, which the Australians will take with some relish, I suspect. The job falls to Michael Brennan. So Brennan and the goalkeeper, Jong Chun Lim. Brennan 7 metres out. Just wait till the goalkeeper is ready. The umpire's blown his whistle. And 1 stroke. Santi Deo sets, checks with the goalkeeper. Brings the whistle to his mouth. Michael Brennan is a happy camper. Goalkeeper went the wrong way. You're on a hiding to nothing as a goalkeeper.
You sure are. And Australia have done very well. Michael Brennan here just pushes it to the left of the keeper, wrong-footed him, and it's a great finish.
56th minute of the game. Michael Brennan from a penalty stroke put Australia 1 goal up. You never blame a goalkeeper for those. So now, will the Koreans change their style of play?
Oh, I think they will. I think they'll throw probably an extra guy in the midfield and try and get this equaliser.
Kang works at baseline, sends it back, swept out by Livermore effectively to find Davies. There's the old combination now, Davies and Stacey. Lim back, Stacey again, and Davies just penalised for running his Korean opponent off the ball. Korea came into this game with 2 wins and a draw, 7 points from their 3 games. They really need a win here to give them a place in the final. Kang couldn't get the shot on. Looked for the deflection then from Song. He actually deflected it away from goals. Australia's goal scorer, Michael Mouse Brennan, I should say. Monkey Brennan is a footballer.
I don't think you like to call it monkey. No. So the Koreans have stepped up the tempo a little bit here. They're trying to get this equaliser as quickly as possible, so they've thrown an extra guy in the midfield. And the Australians just have to weather the storm for the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Penalty corner, always going to be. Once it's behind the 25, any tackle like that.
I don't know whether you can blame Daniel Sproul for this. The Korean's done very cleverly, though. He's just put the stick. No, I would say Daniel Sproul's got all ball there. So it was a very, very harsh decision.
It's the noise that wins the penalty corner.
It is the noise, yeah. And what Daniel usually uses an aluminium stick, so it's got an aluminium shaft, so it sounds even louder.
Australia scored that goal in the 56th minute while they had just 10 men on the field. They are still down to 10. Yo, great combination. Kang puts it away on the variation.
Yes, they've done well their career. They've actually shepherded. They ran a guy in from the left who shepherded Daniel Sproul, so he couldn't get to the guy who pushed it out. As we see the penalty corner here again, you watch the Korean on the left and Daniel Sproul. He runs across his face. Daniel thinks it's going to be a flick. And Damon Deletti had no chance there at all.
That was very, very well worked by Korea. Yo and Kang with the sweep. As you say, no chance for the goalkeeper there.
No.
So after 58 minutes, it's 1-1. The Australians have got to start all over again. Having said that, Australia are in a much better position with a view to the final than Korea at the moment.
Oh, most definitely they have. I mean, Australia just have to keep persisting. I mean, they probably admit that they haven't played as well today, but they've just persisted really well.
So with Daniel Sproul on, perhaps they'll manufacture something across the left. He looks to be moving okay anyway, Daniel Sproul. Adam Commons has been brought back on after his 5-minute suspension. Davies looking for options, rolls back to Dunn. And he goes back further. York, and now Sproul. The left thigh is bandaged for Daniel Sproul. Just protect, I suspect. He's carrying a cork on that thigh. Look for Stacey, eluded him, thanks to the close marking of Jeong.
Just adds another dimension to the Australian attack, Daniel Sproul.
And Jeong's actually been given the job now of man-to-man marking Jay Stacey.
They'll make sure that Jay doesn't get involved in the game, but Jay's had this done to him many, many times before, so it's nothing new to him.
Just under 10 minutes remaining of actual game time. CO. Livermore got the stick in. Not legally, though. CO again.
Just going to have to be careful. As we saw in the first half, Hamish was blowing any sort of stick check as a penalty corner. So they're going to have to make sure their tackles are very, very clean.
Break victory comes on. Michael York at the back.
Still limping a little bit, Craig. He's got his thigh pretty well heavily bandaged now.
So it may well have been a cork rather than a strain.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have thought they'd have brought him back on if he'd actually strained the quad, would you?
No, you wouldn't waste him.
Not in a game like this.
Not when there's still a chance of making the final anyway.
Sproul got the stick in. CO. Not great distribution there. He actually picked the gap between Huang and Song. Stacey thought about the flick. Good ball in the end to Elder. Just couldn't keep it down. Lim was too close. Santi Deo quite correctly blows it as leading to dangerous play. Lim and Jeong. Stacey stick across his. So Jeong wins the free hit. Song. Good ball. Kang in space. the goal scorer and captain for Korea, working his way into the D, looking for the penalty corner. Good defence by Craig Victory. He'd come a long way back.
Yeah, he made sure he chased. He knew he was in the wrong position in the first place for the ball to get there, and he's made the recovery tackle.
And belts it across. Belletti allows it to go past safely. Tall man is the number 4, Hyung Bae Han.
Song was a bit disappointed there, the centre forward for Korea. He thought he should have dived after the fact.
You never think afterwards, do you? You never did.
Oh, yes, I did.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you usually just dive first and thought about it afterwards. Harmlessly into the net from outside the circle. Stephen Holt. Davies, who has been held really quiet this half, hasn't he?
Yes, they're marking him very tight, and give Korea credit. They've done their homework, and marking Jay Stacey and Stephen Davies and Brent Livermore, and also Michael Brennan, our midfielder, who are our playmakers, and they've stopped us basically having a free-flowing game today.
Kang. Sproul, safe. That's off a Korean foot, and that'll be a corner.
Australia pushing up to try and get this goal.
Stacey and Elder. The defence by Lim was illegal according to Santi Deo. Troy Elder in shot, boy from Bundaberg, although he was born in Bunbury in Western Australia. Stacey with the hit. Again, unable to keep it flat.
Pretty harsh decision. I mean, the ball's only going about foot height. It's not as if it's dangerous.
That's what it leads to, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Kang now on the sprint with the ball. Works inside Duff, but let the ball go too far away from himself. Appealed from the free hit when he really should have been chasing the pill. And lifted out by Holt, who acknowledges his mistake. Korea get the free hit inside their attacking quadrant. Gion, the baseline, back outside to Wang, did well. Forced over the back line by Stacey. Good defence by the Aussie vice-captain. Gion lifted ball. And that one was dangerous from the outset.
Most definitely dangerous.
Just on 5 minutes of normal game time remaining to go.
To go in this game.
Michael York.
Australia know in the last 4 or 5 minutes of a game like this that they'll get 2 or 3 really good opportunities, so they'll just bide their time and make sure they set it up properly.
Song a long way back in defence for Korea. The stick of Brennan. Korean ball at the side. Tackle by Brennan. Sproul likes to run forward, dispossessed that time by CO. Outside on the right is Song. Kang is in the middle. If he can get past Michael York, that's not easy.
He's lifted the ball, then Michael York's chambered him in the right position, and Brett Livermore made sure he came over and covered, and as he jinked the ball around Michael York, it was too high.
That was hopeful. Lim's picked that up easily. CO. Song was on the cut.
Needed to stay wide though that time.
Yeah.
But Daniel Sproul made sure that the Korean forward couldn't come through the middle too quickly.
Australian ball at the side. Brennan goes all the way back to Matthew, to Jason Duff, I should say. And York. Elder gives himself some room, did it well. Holt, good one too, just too far ahead of him.
Yeah, it was a good play. Jay Stacey let out of the space then to let Troy Elder get the ball, and they tried to set up a little 3-on-2 there.
G and down to Yo. It's off Livermore's foot, play on. Young Bae Kim. Inside 3 minutes of game time remaining. Still 1-all. Sproul, Livermore in space. Roughed off the ball quite fairly though by Seo, who loses it himself. Now Elder. His immediate opponent is Lim, who rolled it out. Aussie ball. And the Koreans not 5 yards away. Australia's ball again. Stacey, little toss over the top, looking for Scotty Webster. Too strong. Seen safely over the baseline by Young Bae Kim. Two minutes remaining.
Oh, good tackle there by Troy Elder.
Just a little inadvertent stick obstruction in that event. Kim spreads it wide again. Hahn looking long for Song, tried to deflect it back into Kang. It's almost there. Kang got a stick on it, won the free hit. So Korea pressing forward now. This is Seo. He's back and square. Hahn side to Kang. This is Song. Good battle then by Daniel Sproul. Conceded the free hit but held up the attack. And again. Once again, the Koreans going backwards to make progress. It's Young Hwan Ji. Oh, they're trying to pull the Australians out and create some gaps.
This is where we put the press on.
It's a Korean ball up near the corner post. Inside the last minute of regulation time. Korean ball. So there's still a chance here. Wouldn't they love to steal it in the last 30 seconds or so? 40 seconds now. Just holding it up. They'll be looking to work a penalty corner if they can.
Yeah, they'll be waiting for the breach. And the Australians have to be very, very careful here that they don't do a stick check.
30 seconds now. That doesn't help them.
Here's an opportunity for Australia now, though.
Nobody forward in numbers. They're going to need to be awfully quick. They're not even going to take it, are they?
Going to take their time.
Yeah, 20 seconds remaining. They go back. So Australia will walk away from this with 3 wins and the draw from their 4 outings. They won't be too disappointed with that. The crowd counted down.
Well, Australia have worked very hard there today. They didn't handle the balls how they like. Korea, give them credit. They were very disciplined today. They marked our forwards very tightly. Brett Livermore was marked, probably for the first time in the tournament today. And it made it difficult for us to get the ball up front. But